You can see around the garden here that fall is definitely in place. A lot of the figs are either, you know, yellowing or have lost most of their leaves. There's a Villa de Bordeaux who's showing a whole bunch of figs on the branches, and you know, they're not fully ripe. I just have it in a bad spot, and the leaves are all kind of falling off. It's too bad. Okay, here we are. We are in the greenhouse, and I'm just kind of touching and feeling some of the figs that are in here. That was the Toro. Here's a Flanders that's super productive, but too late. What's this guy right here? You know, I haven't had much luck with the... You want to eat? Okay, hang on a second. I haven't had much luck with the Noir de Barbentine. But here's one that's really soft that I just touched and it kind of fell off. Look at that. Here, Nolan, you take half. Pull it. There you go. This doesn't look like it's properly ripened. There's no sweetness to it whatsoever. Okay, let's hunt for some more stuff in here. You know what? Here's a fig here that was labeled Black Madeira, but I believe this is probably a hunt. Now that I look at it, looks real similar to one. Wow. Not bad. But clearly not a Black Madeira. So I believe that's a hunt. What else do we have in here? Oh yeah. Mr. Pellegrino. Now this one is from Vinny. My hunch about this particular fig is that it's probably related to a Nordland. Looks a lot like a Nordland. Gives a nice breba. Let's pick this guy off. Look at that. Got a little scar tissue there, but this side is still nice. I'll probably take some photos of this guy. Okay, here's our two figs for the day. Pellegrino. Which I do believe this is a Nordland. Just looks a lot like it. I know from Rom, who grows Nordland, it says his Nordlands get to about football size. So this is 110 grams. That's a pretty big fig. And here is the fake Black Madeira. 61.9 grams. This is still a pretty good sized fig. I believe this might be a Sao Luis. It's not a Black Madeira, but it is a pretty fig and pretty tasty too. Okay, so I've taken this beautiful, beautiful looking Pellegrino into the little studio box, and I'm taking some photos of it. I can't help but to notice how beautiful this pulp is looking. It's juicy, it looks jammy, it looks delicious. It's so juicy that it's kind of falling under its own weight. This thing is beautiful. Okay, let's finish taking photos and then taste it. All right, so this is the Pellegrino. Now, there's a couple of different Pellegrinos, and this one is from Vinny. This one usually gets really, really big. There's a huge breba, and this is the main crop. Obviously, this is the second fig that I've gotten off this tree. The first one I've already picked off. It was actually really good. The flavor of this is just straight up strawberry jam. Now, for a large fig, it's actually pretty sweet and rich and flavorful. You know, I have an affinity for large figs, and if they taste good, that's a huge, huge plus for me. But actually, let's go ahead and taste this second one here and see how this one ranks. Ooh, holy cow. I didn't expect this to be so good, but it is. It's right in there. It's really, really syrupy. Not super, super sweet like a Peter Sunny, but very pleasant. I would give it like a 7.5 to 8 in terms of sweetness. Taste-wise, it's good as well. I'd probably give this one right around an 8. So it's, you know, along the lines of like a Ronde de Bordeaux for me as far as flavor goes. Definitely a keeper. I love the fact that it gives you large brevas, and it's good. Gives you large main crop. That's good. A lot better than a Languedoc. I'm still waiting on my Nordland to bear fruit, but I would have to say that, you know, from the photos I've seen, the leaf shape, color, this is really similar to a Nordland. So some of you may have a Nordland and might go, wow, that looks a lot like my Nordland. This is probably either in the same family or it is a Nordland. Definitely different from a Languedoc. Now there's another Pellegrino, I believe, that maybe Mario has, and that one is a little bit closer to a Languedoc. You know, I'll show you some of the video from that one. I think I got that last year as far as ripe figs go, and that's pretty good. That's a little bit more melony. Flavor is a lot like a Languedoc. So yeah, this one's Pellegrino from Vinny. Good fig. Let's try out the next one. Okay, here's the next fig. Now, it's been raining a lot, so this fig has basically, it looks marred and scarred because of all the moisture and rain, and then we'll get like spots of sun, and so that kind of wet and drying has caused the skin to crackle. It's quite beautiful. I mean, it's a little work of art in itself. Now, this fig was sold to me, as I mentioned before, as a black Madeira. Clearly, it is not a black Madeira because I picked a previous one that was kind of yellow, amber on the inside. Now, by all accounts, if you look at it, it looks like a black Madeira. Look at those single lobe and kind of lobe variation leaves in the back. And then, you know, the fig kind of has that same shape. But later, when I cut this open, you'll see that it's not. I've been trying to do research, and one of my, I guess, things that I like to do is try to figure out, you know, unknowns, or whether or not certain figs are kind of similar or the same. You know, the reason is to keep myself and others from wasting money buying figs that have different names that are exactly the same. So this one might be known as a Sao Luis. Ira Condit named off about 20 Portuguese varieties that were somewhat good, and this was one of them. He described it as a black fig that has a kind of amber or yellow interior pulp. So let's cut this guy open and see what it looks like. So you can see here is clearly not a black Madeira. Black Madeira is red on the inside. This one has kind of that amber yellowish pulp. So I don't know, maybe if somebody else knows what this possibly could be. I don't think it's a Beal. It tastes really good. I've had a Beal before that died on me, so I never actually got fruit. But this might be what is known as a Sao Luis. And a Sao Luis, when it's pollinated, will turn pink on the inside. When it's not pollinated, will stay this kind of amber yellow color. Okay, so I just got done taking the photos. I'm just going to call this Sao Luis for now, because calling it a not Black Madeira is just a stupid name. And let's give this a try. It's a very rich honey fig. Sweetness is on point. I'd give it about an 8, 8.5. So tasty. It's a nice, sweet, honey fig that has slight melony tones to it. Really rich too. I like it. Overall, the texture could be a little bit better from the skin. It's just a little deteriorated, but I like it. It's a good tasting fig. And it's interesting because, you know, you've got these figs that have these like black Madeira type of leaves, like the white Madeira. Black Madeira, obviously. Now this one, I believe it's a Sao Luis, but I'm not 100% sure. So I'll just keep an asterisk next to it as that. But overall, it's still a good keeper. I mean, I already have Black Madeira. I don't have this particular variety. And so I think it's pretty good. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Please subscribe. I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch my reviews. And hopefully next year there will be even more varieties to try out. I got a lot of 1 gallons this year of new varieties, so next year hopefully they'll fruit for me, and then I'll be able to do some more reviews for you guys. All right, bye-bye.